Mariama sat quietly by her window that evening, the sound of light rain touching the roof like gentle tears from the heavens. Her phone lay beside her, silent and cold, just like Asiedu's heart had become. She scrolled through old messages that once made her smile, the ones where Asiedu used to call her my heartbeat. Now he had vanished, chasing after a woman who could afford the life he wanted, but couldn't earn. "Asiedu, what did I ever do wrong?" Mariama whispered to herself, her voice breaking. She had given her all, her love, her trust, her time. But Asiedu left without even saying goodbye properly. The last words he sent were, "I think we should give each other space." That space turned into forever. The new lady in Asiedu's life was known around town, wealthy, elegant, and older. Everyone said Asiedu was lucky, but Mariama knew the truth. He wasn't lucky, he was lost. Asiedu's body had always been his strength, his touch, his charm, his confidence in bed, the kind of man who left memories that haunted even after he was gone. And those memories tormented Mariama night after night. She tried to move on, but the pain felt heavier than her own heart. For weeks, she avoided love, avoided laughter, avoided herself. Until one Saturday afternoon, while visiting a friend in Koforidua, she met Ananse, a soft-spoken gentleman in a white shirt and gold watch, who smiled like he had known her forever. He greeted her with warmth. "You look like someone who deserves peace," he said kindly. Mariama smiled for the first time in months. Their first date was at Capital View Hotel, overlooking the green hills of Koforidua. Ananse was different, calm, mature, and deeply caring. He didn't rush. He listened. He made her feel safe again. 5 months later, he surprised her at Daddy's bar during a live band performance. The lights were dim, the music soft. As the band played Odo Enti by Kojo Antwi, Ananse went down on one knee and said, "Mariama, I may not have known your past, but I want to be your future. Will you marry me?" Tears filled her eyes as she nodded, "Yes, I will." The crowd cheered, and for the first time, Mariama believed love had returned. They began traveling, sometimes Dubai, sometimes Aburi, building memories she thought she had lost forever. But when the first night came and they finally shared a bed, Mariama's heart trembled. Ananse was gentle, caring, but weak in bed. As she lay beside him afterward, her mind betrayed her. Memories of Asiedu's touch flooded back. She turned away, whispering to herself, "No, I won't go back. Ananse loves me. That's what matters." But love, as Mariama would soon learn, is never that simple. Because somewhere in Accra, Asiedu had heard about her new life, and he was planning his return. It was a calm Friday evening when Mariama's phone suddenly lit up. She was seated in Ananse's living room, wearing one of his white shirts, sipping juice, and scrolling through wedding decor ideas. The message popped up quietly. "Asiedu, hi Mariama, it's been long. I hope you're happy." Her hand froze. For a moment she couldn't breathe. That name, Asiedu, felt like a ghost whispering from her past. She stared at the screen, her heart racing. "No, I shouldn't reply," she murmured to herself, but her fingers betrayed her. "Mariama, I'm fine, Asiedu." "Hope you're good too." That one reply opened a floodgate. He started texting every night, not with apologies, but with memories. "Do you still remember that rainy day we hid under the cocoa tree? Do you still sleep with your left leg crossed over the pillow? Do you still laugh before you cry when you're angry?" Each message was a knife wrapped in silk. He knew her too well, and she hated that she still cared. Meanwhile, Ananse continued to treat her like a queen. He would drive all the way from Accra to Koforidua just to surprise her with flowers. He called her my peace. But even peace felt confusing when the past came knocking. One night, while Ansa was away on a business trip in Kumasi, Asiedu called. His voice, that same deep tone that once melted her, came through softly. "Mariama," he said, "I've missed you. I know I hurt you, but please, I'm not doing well. I made a mistake leaving you." She kept silent, tears quietly rolling down. "Asiedu," she whispered, "why now? You left me for money, for a woman you said could change your life." He sighed. "That woman used me. When her husband found out, she cut me off. I lost everything. I should have stayed with you. You were the only real thing I had." His words sounded genuine, but something inside Mariama told her he wasn't being honest. Still, the old feelings refused to die. She found herself smiling faintly, remembering the times they shared, the way he used to tickle her just to see her laugh. "Maybe God brought us back to make peace," Asiedu continued. "I just want to see you once. No trouble, no expectations. Please." She hesitated, but finally replied, "Let me think about it." After the call, Mariama couldn't sleep. She sat on her bed, holding her phone, staring at her reflection in the mirror. "Mariama, don't be foolish," she whispered. "You have Ansa. He loves you." But her heart was torn. She knew if she saw Asiedu, old emotions might return. Yet something inside her wanted to hear his side, one last time. Meanwhile, Asiedu wasn't reaching out for love. He had heard that Mariama was dating a successful businessman, and in his selfish mind he thought, if she truly loves me, she'll help me too. He smirked as he texted her again, "Let's just meet at the place we first kissed." Mariama stared at the message long and hard, unsure if she should reply. The evening air in Koforidua was calm but heavy, the kind of quiet that made every heartbeat louder. Mariama sat on her bed, staring at her phone. She had spent the entire day debating with herself, pacing, praying and arguing with her own thoughts. Ansa had left for a short business meeting in Tema, and her heart felt strangely empty without him around. But Asiedu's words from the previous night kept echoing in her mind. "I just want to see you once. No trouble, no expectations." At exactly 6:45 p.m., she picked up her phone and dialed his number. "Asiedu," she said quietly, "I've thought about it. I'll meet you, but I don't have much time. I just want to hear what you have to say, and then let's both move on." He paused for a second, then replied in that familiar tone that once weakened her. "Mariama, thank you. Let's meet at Democracy Spot around 8. Just for a few minutes." She agreed, but after hanging up, her chest tightened. What if this is a mistake, she thought. She dressed simply, black jeans, a light pink top, and a scarf. Nothing fancy. She told herself, this is not a date. It's closure. When she arrived at Democracy Spot, the place was half filled. The faint music of High Life played from a nearby speaker, and the smell of roasted tilapia filled the air. Asiedu was already there, seated at a corner table under a dim light. He stood the moment he saw her, wearing a white t-shirt and dark jeans, his eyes carrying a mix of guilt and admiration. "Mariama," he said softly as she sat down, "you look the same, maybe even more beautiful." "Let's not do that," she interrupted. "Just tell me why you wanted to see me." He sighed deeply. "I know I broke you. I was foolish. I thought money could replace love, but I was wrong. The woman I left you for, she used me and dumped me. I have nothing now. I can't sleep, Mariama. I keep thinking about you." She looked down, trying to stay composed. "Asiedu, I cried for months because of you. You left me without a reason. You didn't even say sorry." "I'm saying it now," he whispered. "I'm sorry. I just want your forgiveness. I don't expect anything." His eyes glistened under the yellow light, and for a moment Mariama saw the man she once loved. But she also remembered the nights she cried alone, the mornings she couldn't eat, the pain she fought to overcome. "Asiedu," she said gently, "I forgive you. But please, don't try to come back. I've moved on. I have someone who loves me differently, not perfectly, but sincerely." He smiled faintly, but inside, his mind was calculating. "I understand," he said. "I just wanted peace." They sat in silence for a moment, the tension slowly melting away. But as she stood to leave, Asiedu's eyes followed her with a hidden thought. "She'll come back. She still loves me." Mariama walked away, feeling both relieved and unsettled, unaware that this meeting was only the beginning of another emotional storm. The next morning, the golden sun stretched over Koforidua's hills as Mariama sat quietly on her balcony, sipping tea. She had hardly slept. The conversation with Asiedu kept replaying in her mind like a haunting song she couldn't turn off. She told herself she did the right thing. She forgave him and walked away. Yet deep inside, something still stirred. Her phone buzzed again. A message from Asiedu. "Thank you for yesterday. Seeing you made me realize what I lost. I won't disturb you again, but please, don't hate me." She stared at the text, feeling a strange ache. Why did his words still have power over her? She typed back a short reply. "It's fine, Asiedu. Take care of yourself." Then she put her phone away and tried to focus on her new life. That afternoon, Ananse returned from Tema, cheerful as always. He carried a small gift bag and hugged her tightly. "Baby, I missed you," he said warmly. "I bought you something small." She smiled, pretending everything was fine. "Oh, you didn't have to." He handed her a gold bracelet engraved with her name, Mariama. She looked at him, her heart softening. Ananse truly cared. He wasn't wild or overly passionate, but he was kind, stable, and real. Later that evening, they went out for dinner at a small restaurant near Jackson Park. Ananse talked about his business plans, his dreams of building a house in Aburi, and even hinted at setting a wedding date soon. Mariama listened, nodding, but her mind drifted again. Flashes of Asiedu's face, the way he used to hold her waist, the fire she once felt but couldn't find with Ananse. When they returned home, Ananse noticed her silence. "Is something bothering you?" he asked softly. Mariama forced a smile. "No, just tired." He nodded, trusting her words, then kissed her forehead and went to shower. But as soon as he stepped away, her phone lit up again. Another message from Asiedu. "I lied when I said I wouldn't disturb you again. I can't stop thinking about you. Can I just hear your voice once more?" Her heart raced. She hesitated but didn't reply. Moments later, another message followed. "Mariama, please, I need to see you. Not for anything bad. I just want to say what I couldn't say yesterday." She turned off her phone, slipped it under her pillow, and closed her eyes. But her mind wouldn't rest. The memories of Asiedu's touch, his laughter, and the wild love they once shared all began to dance inside her again. By midnight, she was sitting up in bed, staring at the bracelet Ananse had bought her. "Why can't I forget him?" she whispered to herself, tears filling her eyes. She knew she loved Ananse, but love isn't always enough to silence the ghosts of passion. And somewhere across town, Asiedu smiled at his phone, certain that Mariama's silence meant she was still his. Despite Ananse's constant care, his tenderness, and the calm life he built for her, Mariama's heart was quietly divided. Every morning he would make her breakfast before work, hot tea, toast, and boiled eggs. and leave small notes on the dining table. You mean the world to me. Yet each time she read them, her chest tightened with guilt. She wanted to love him fully, but Asiedu's shadow wouldn't leave her mind. It was like trying to heal a wound that kept reopening. One Saturday morning, while Ananse was getting ready for a business trip to Accra, he hugged her tightly. "Don't forget, my love," he said. "Next week is my birthday. I want you to plan something small, even if it's just the two of us." Mariama smiled faintly. "Of course, I'll make it special," she replied. When he drove away, the house suddenly felt too quiet. She walked to the balcony and checked her phone. There it was again, another message from Asiedu. "Mariama, please, I need your help. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't serious." She frowned and read further. "My little sister is sick. I don't have money for her drugs. I know you're not obliged, but I'm desperate." Mariama's heart softened instantly. She remembered his sister, Amma, the sweet girl who used to call her Big Sis. Without thinking much, she asked, "How much do you need?" "Just 700 cedis," Asiedu replied quickly. "Please, I'll pay you back when I can." She sent the money, convincing herself it was just an act of kindness, nothing more. But deep down, she knew she still wanted to feel needed by him. Later that evening, Asiedu texted again. "Mariama, thank you. I don't even know what to say. You've always had a pure heart. I miss your soul." Her fingers hovered over the keyboard, but she didn't reply. She locked her phone, but the words echoed inside her. "I miss your soul." That night, as she lay in bed, she couldn't sleep. She thought about the difference between the two men. Ananse loved her quietly, safely, and responsibly, but Asiedu, he loved her wildly, dangerously, passionately. He knew how to awaken parts of her she didn't even know existed. By morning, Asiedu sent another message. "Can we meet one last time? I just want to thank you face to face. Nothing more, I promise." Mariama closed her eyes and whispered, "God, give me strength." She knew it was wrong, but her heart wanted to see him just once more. And so, against her better judgment, she typed, "Okay, tomorrow evening," but only for a few minutes. As she pressed send, she didn't realize that this single message, born from emotion and confusion, would change everything about her life, her peace, and even her relationship with Ananse. The following evening, the sky over Koforidua was painted in shades of orange and pink, a beautiful disguise for the storm building inside Mariama's heart. She stood in front of her mirror, staring at her reflection. Her hands trembled slightly as she brushed her hair and applied light makeup. She told herself over and over, "It's not a date, Mariama. You're just going to say thank you and goodbye properly." But somewhere deep down, she knew she was lying to herself. Asiedu had chosen a quiet lounge near Jackson Park, not too crowded, not too empty. When she arrived, he was already waiting, dressed neatly in a black shirt and jeans, his usual confident smile playing on his lips. "Mariama," he said softly as she approached. "You came." She sat opposite him, trying to stay composed. "You said you just wanted to thank me. So, say what you have to say, Asiedu." He nodded, but his eyes told another story. "I meant what I said. You didn't have to help me, but you did. I don't know any woman like you." Mariama looked away. "Don't start, please. I told you, I've moved on." He leaned closer. "I know, and I'm happy for you. But can I be honest? I miss your laugh, your scent, even the way you used to scold me when I came home late." Her heart raced. "Asiedu, stop," she whispered, her voice trembling. "You're making this harder than it should be." He smiled sadly. "You can lie to me, Mariama, but not to yourself. I can see it in your eyes. You still feel something." Tears welled in her eyes. You left me. You threw me away for money, and now you're here pretending to care." He reached for her hand gently. "I made a mistake. I thought I needed wealth to be happy, but I only needed you. You're still the only woman who ever truly loved me." Mariama wanted to pull her hand back, but she couldn't. His touch sent memories flooding through her, their laughter, their arguments, their nights of wild love. It was like her heart remembered everything her mind tried to forget. "Asiedu," she began, her voice breaking. "I can't do this. I have someone who loves me now." He nodded, pretending to understand. "I know. I just needed to look into your eyes one more time." He stood up slowly, his gaze lingering on her face. "Take care of yourself, Mariama." She watched him walk away into the night, her heart aching and confused. She felt both relieved and empty. When she returned home, Ananse called immediately. "Hey, sweetheart, I'll be back tomorrow." "Did you eat?" Mariama swallowed hard. "Yes, I did," she lied softly, staring at the ceiling. But deep inside, she knew the truth. She had just opened a door she promised never to open again. When Ananse left for the United Kingdom that week, his goodbye was filled with warmth and faith. He kissed Mariama gently at the airport and whispered, "It's just 2 weeks, my love. Take care of yourself and keep smiling for me." Mariama smiled back, holding his hands tightly. "I'll miss you, Ananse," she said softly. He waved as he walked away, leaving behind a love that trusted her completely, a love she was about to betray without planning to. For the first few days, Mariama kept herself busy. She went to work, spent evenings watching movies, and talked to Ananse over video calls. But one Thursday night, as she scrolled through her phone, a message appeared from Asiedu. "Mariama, I miss talking to you. Can I see you? Just dinner, nothing more, please." She hesitated, her heart pounding. She knew she should say no, but loneliness and curiosity whispered otherwise. After all, Ananse was far away, and her evenings felt empty. "Fine," she replied, "just dinner." They agreed to meet at Capital View Hotel Restaurant, the same place she once shared her first romantic meal with Ananse. When she arrived, the city lights shimmered below the hill, and the soft night breeze touched her skin. Asiedu was already waiting, looking charming in a casual shirt and watch. "Mariama, you look beautiful," he said, standing up to pull her chair. She smiled politely. "Thank you. Let's just eat and go." They ordered grilled tilapia with fried yam and pepper sauce. While waiting, the silence grew heavy, so Mariama asked for something to ease her nerves. "Can I get a Smirnoff Ice, please?" she told the waiter. Asiedu chuckled. "So you drink now?" "Once in a while," she said with a playful smirk. One bottle turned into 2, then 3. The cold sweetness made her feel light, happy, and suddenly careless. Asiedu, on the other hand, drank 2 bottles of Guinness, his laughter growing bolder with each sip. They talked about old memories, the silly fights, the nights they stayed up talking till dawn, and how she used to cook his favorite jollof rice. Mariama found herself laughing freely for the first time in months. "You still have that laugh," Asiedu said softly, gazing at her lips. "I've missed it more than anything." Her cheeks flushed. The alcohol was blurring her judgment, softening the walls she had built. She looked at him and whispered, "Asiedu, I'm tired. I don't want to go home tonight." He blinked, unsure if he heard right. "What do you mean?" "I'll book a room," she said quietly, her voice low and warm. "Just take me there when I'm done eating." He nodded, his heart racing, pretending to be calm. When they finished, Mariama walked to the reception, booked a room under her name, and handed him the key. As they entered, the lights were dim, the air heavy with unspoken emotions. She sat on the bed, slipped off her heels, and looked up at him. "Asiedu," she whispered, her eyes glassy from the drinks. "Just stay with me tonight. I don't want to be alone." He stepped closer, and that night, one night born from loneliness, desire, and a moment's weakness, changed everything about Mariama's life. The night air in the hotel room was heavy, quiet, and filled with tension. The soft yellow lamp glowed beside the bed, casting a gentle light on Mariama's face. She sat there in silence, her heart thudding as she tried to calm her breathing. The alcohol had given her courage earlier, but now it was wearing off, leaving behind confusion and guilt. Asiedu sat beside her, watching her closely. "Mariama," he said softly, "you sure you're okay?" She nodded weakly. "I'm fine, just tired," she whispered, even though deep inside she knew she wasn't fine. He reached out and brushed a strand of hair from her face. That simple touch made her heart skip. Memories came rushing back, their laughter, their closeness, their nights of passion. She had tried so hard to bury those memories, but they refused to die. "Asiedu, we shouldn't," she began, her voice trembling. He looked into her eyes and said, "I know, but tell me you don't still feel it." Mariama turned away, but her silence was louder than any confession. The space between them disappeared, and before she could stop herself, his lips were on hers. The kiss was soft at first, hesitant, almost questioning. And then it deepened. Her heart raced, her mind screamed no, but her body betrayed her. Every touch brought back what she thought she had forgotten. The way he held her, the warmth of his breath, the strength of his hands, it all felt dangerously familiar. When it was over, she lay in his arms, her chest rising and falling quickly. The room was filled with silence again, but this time it was the silence of regret. Mariama sat up slowly, her eyes filled with tears. "Asiedu, what have we done?" He didn't answer right away. "Mariama," he said finally, "maybe this means we still belong together. Maybe." "Don't say that," she snapped, her voice cracking. "This was a mistake. I love Ananse. I do." She stood, pacing the room, clutching her head. "Oh God, what have I done?" "He trusted me. He loves me." Asiedu tried to hold her, but she pushed him away. "Don't touch me. I should never have come here." She grabbed her handbag and rushed into the bathroom. Staring at herself in the mirror, she could barely recognize the woman looking back. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she whispered, "You've ruined everything." After a long silence, she came out, dressed, and avoided his gaze. "Asiedu, this can never happen again. Forget tonight. Please." He sighed, his face unreadable. "If that's what you want." She walked out of the room, her steps shaky, her heart broken. Outside, the night breeze felt cold against her skin, and every step toward home felt heavier. In that one night of weakness, Mariama had crossed a line she could never uncross, and though she didn't know it yet, the consequences of that night would follow her like a shadow. The following morning, the sun rose gently over Koforidua, but inside Mariama's heart there was no light. She woke up with a pounding headache and a heavy soul. Every detail from the night before replayed in her mind: the laughter, the drinks, the hotel room, and that one moment she could never undo. She sat on her bed, staring at her reflection in the mirror. "How could I do this?" she whispered, tears filling her eyes. "Ananse doesn't deserve this. He loves me. He trusts me." For the first time, she felt the true weight of guilt pressing down on her chest. She wanted to call Ananse, to confess everything, but fear silenced her. She couldn't bear to lose him. That afternoon, Ananse called from the UK, his voice filled with excitement. "My love, guess what? The meeting went perfectly. I'm proud of you, Mariama. You keep me going. Her voice shook. I'm proud of you too, honey, she managed to say, forcing a smile he couldn't see. Are you okay? You sound tired, he asked. I'm fine, she lied, her eyes wet with tears. Just missing you. After the call, she broke down completely. She knew no amount of love or money could wipe away what she'd done, that one night with Asiedu had planted a shadow between her and Ansa, a shadow that would grow heavier with time. Across town, Asiedu sat at a roadside bar, sipping Guinness and smiling to himself. In his mind, he felt victorious. He had proven that Mariama still couldn't resist him, but what he didn't know was that his selfish desire had set in motion a chain of pain that would soon come back to him. And so begins the truth of a painful parable. Money can buy pleasure, but it can never satisfy a woman's heart. Because when a woman loves deeply, she doesn't need riches. She needs peace, honesty, and care. Yet when a man plays with her weakness, he destroys not just her love, but also her soul. Mariama tried to move on, but guilt is a heavy ghost that never sleeps. Every time Ansa called, every time he said, I love you, she felt a sharp sting in her heart. She knew her sin would eventually find her. And far away, Ansa was planning something beautiful, a surprise that would change their lives, unaware of the storm waiting to meet him when he returned. One bright morning, Ansa called from the UK with a voice full of joy. My love, he said warmly, I have great news. Once I return, we're going to have our wedding, a grand one. I've already spoken to my family and I'm making the arrangements. You deserve the best, Mariama. Her heart skipped. A wedding? She repeated softly. Yes, he said. A luxurious one. You've stood by me, and I want to honor you. Just wait till I return. I want to make you my wife in style. She forced a smile, even though tears stung her eyes. That's wonderful, Ansa. Thank you. After the call, she sat quietly on the bed, lost in thought. The man she had betrayed was planning to marry her, to crown her with love and loyalty she no longer deserved. Her chest tightened with pain. She couldn't hide this forever. That evening she found herself texting Asiedu again. I need to talk to you. Please meet me tomorrow evening at the same spot. When they met, the air was tense. The restaurant lights were dim, and Mariama looked pale, her eyes tired. Asiedu smiled lightly when he saw her, but she didn't smile back. Asiedu, she began softly, Ansa said when he returns from the UK, we'll have a big wedding, a luxurious one. But, she paused, her voice breaking, I don't think I'm ready. Asiedu raised his brow. Why? Because of us, she said, her eyes filling with tears. Because of that night. How can I marry him knowing what I did? He leaned back in his chair, silent for a while, then spoke calmly. Mariama, you should go ahead and marry him. Her eyes widened in disbelief. What? You're telling me to marry him? He nodded slowly. Yes, Ansa can give you a life I can't. He's rich, stable, and honest. You'll be happy with him. Mariama shook her head, her voice trembling. But I thought you wanted me back. I thought you loved me. Asiedu sighed. I do care about you, but love doesn't feed anyone. I've made peace with the past. You should too. She stared at him in shock, her heart breaking all over again. So that's it? You used me, and now you're letting me go like I mean nothing. He looked down, unable to meet her eyes. You knew what it was, Mariama. We were both lonely. But you belong with Ansa. Don't ruin that. Tears streamed down her cheeks. You're heartless, Asiedu. You came back into my life just to destroy my peace again." He reached for her hand, but she pulled away. "Goodbye, Asiedu," she whispered and walked out into the night, her heart heavy with regret, anger, and confusion. Behind her, Asiedu watched silently, pretending not to care, but a faint smirk appeared on his lips. In his mind, he thought, even if she marries him, she'll never forget me. But fate had its own plans, and what awaited them all was something none of them could predict. What happens when love, guilt, and betrayal finally collide? Will Asiedu pay for his cunning games? Will Mariama confess? Or will she bury the truth and live with the pain? Only time will tell. Dear viewers, let this story remind you, money can never satisfy a woman's soul. Only true love and peace can. Ladies, stay away from your ex. Men can be cunning. They know your soft spots and will use your weakness to ruin your beautiful relationship. Don't let a moment of loneliness destroy a lifetime of loyalty. Thank you for watching Ananse Web of Tales. Show some love by sharing this video. Leave a comment to tell us where you're watching from. And don't forget to subscribe for the next emotional episode. What awaits Mariama, Asiedu, and Ansa? See you in the next episode.